Good morning, kids. Chasing up. New 80s Revolution. Here in the cave. Different view today. It's going to get harder and harder to film in here as we get closer to Christmas. As I have said, this room is the non-Santa present hideout. And the kids know that. The kids know that, there's a lock on this door that goes on usually with me in September. And then they know that the dad presents, the dad presents are down here. And then there's a cutoff, of course, and then I hand it over to Santa. But right now, we're losing room. Anyway, big time XOX package came yesterday. Big time. First of all, she sent me a message that I just love to see. Just a few minutes ago, she said our big review video, the video I did where I talked about every single XOX custom figure, every single one that is, a different character than what we originally had with the LJNs. The Bad News Browns, the Mr. Perfect, Demolition, Smash, all those figures that I reviewed. Just that video alone increased her sales. So, I just love hearing that. I love doing my part for XOX. You guys are doing your part for XOX. I'm telling you right now, I don't think this was in her big grand scheme of plans, how deep she's taken this. I could be wrong, but I know that we came up with the Samoans, okay? We've come up with figures that she made because of our suggestions, I think Arn Anderson might have been made because of ours. So I don't know where this would have went had you guys not went nuts with XOX. So it benefits all of us. You guys are buying the figures. That means the figures are getting made. Okay? That means XOX's business is doing well. And we're getting these figures that we never, ever would have had. Or we would have had to go on eBay and buy some awful hack job. So thank you all. And XOX thanks you, trust me. And Print Fury thanks you. Well, let me tell you something. There are nuances about a figure that LJN could skip easily, right? There's size, there's size differences. Jake the Snake Roberts, for example, smallest LJN figure, but he was like 6'5", right? Got a tiny little Jake. Body types, Big John Stud being the same size. Andre and Dynamite Kid and Davey Boy Smith being little tiny figures. Brutus Beefcake towering close to Andre, up over Andre. Greg Valentine the same. Right, but that's okay. That's okay when we were kids. That's okay, it didn't matter. But XOX and Print Fury have just put out a figure where they have totally captured the physical body nuances of a particular wrestler. Now the thumbnail says, Mexican sensation, legendary Mexican wrestler now makes his way to our LJN roster. And as I'm watching early WWF, 84, just finished, well into 85, even a little 83. This fella made his way onto WWF TV sporadically throughout 1983, 84. And it was always a big hype, and it was always exciting. So I always wondered what the deal was, to bring in this guy for spots here and there. Was it a working relationship? And where was he originally? Was it WWC? Was it, was he connected with Carlos Colon? What made this guy basically, a traveling, a nomad, a wrestling nomad. I don't know if he ever really landed anywhere full time. I don't know. But anyway, I'm wasting time here. XOX and Print Fury have given us a figure that fits right into our 1984 roster. We got Mills Mascaris, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I know. I'm a little subdued this morning, not because of anything. I'm just in awe. I'm just blown away. Now, you have to go back and don't just say, oh well, that's Iron Sheik's body. It's not. It's not Iron Sheik. It's not. Okay, it's not Iron Sheik's chest. I can tell you that much right now. It's not Iron Sheik's chest. All right, is it his arms? Maybe. Maybe, but Jimmy Snuka has the same arms too. I don't know, but don't just. Well, that's a painted Iron Sheik. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Look how tall this figure is. Look at the legs, the straight legs of this figure. Okay. That's probably a better view. Mills Mascaris has a very specific looking torso. Mills Mascaris has a very odd looking torso. He's barrel chested, and he's always been an old man to me. So he's always kind of had an old man chest. And he wears his pants up around his nipples. Mills Mascaris wears his trunks pretty high up, or his tights. And they're never, if you go back and look at Mills, the tights, the front of the tights, the two-tone part of the tights is never a V, right? It's never just your standard V. It was always a little flat. It was always a little rounded, or rounded off, I guess. It's perfect. It's perfect. They're up higher. They're up over the belly button. They're right around the second ab, third ab. And the chest, ladies and gentlemen, the chest is barreled. And it's an old man's chest. The figure's perfect, is what I'm trying to say to you. Okay? Guess what? It gets better. It gets better with the detail. You ready? Look at the stitching on the back of the mask. Look at the stitching. Look, I say it every time. It's my favorite figure. It's my favorite figure. It gets old. It gets old. The detail that went into this body. The thought that went into this body. Of course, Iron Sheik would make a great masked custom. So just paint a mask on the Iron Sheik. We're good, right? No. That's what you do on eBay. This is different. This is different. Look at the longer legs, the barrel chest, the rounded off trunks on the tights being pulled up higher than usual, the sick mask paint design, and the attention to detail. Stitches. Ties, I mean. They're obviously not stitches. Come on. The laces in the back. How are you going to get this good looking of an M with a tiny little paintbrush all around that mask detail? Brown eyes. The generic figure underneath the mask looks like Mills Mascaris that you could see under his mask. Guys, if you didn't know you always wanted him, trust me, you wanted Mills Mascaris in your 1984 LJN Federation. And here you go. These figures are just going, and this is I don't know, did she change the rubber again? I don't know. It's a little harder. It's not the floppy rubber. I don't know. Maybe. Who cares? XOX and Print Fury continue to go beyond expectations. And this is an example of that. Is it my favorite figure? I think I have categories of favorite figures. This is my favorite figure based on the attention to the person's body. Okay? This is an absolute 100% masterpiece that needs to go right up on my top shelf, standing next to Hogan and Bob Backlund, because Mills Mascaris was, kind of a come and go sensation in the WWF in 1983, 1984. Go and research the rest of his work around the world. You know what this opens the door to now that we know, of course, how good they can do masks? Other masked figures. Right? The masked superstar? I don't know. Mills Mascaris is LJN. Get over to Etsy right now. Etsy, XOX by Random Treasures on Etsy. Grab a Mills Mascaris figure. Have her painted. Don't be silly. Have her painted. And get this incredible, ridiculous figure. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It's our first masked figure from XOX, and she nailed it. Unbelievable. Mills Mascaris is LJN. XOX by Random Treasures on Etsy. Now get your figure. This is just hard to handle sometimes. It's just hard. It's hard to handle. It's too good. It's too good. Go get the figure now. XOX Random Treasures on Etsy. Mills Mascaris can be yours. Unbelievable. Buy me. No, seriously, buy me.